Now, how about the local elections? In an unprecedented election year like we've never seen before, anything can happen. Republicans are looking now to flip the U.S. Senate from Democratic control to Republican. Ohio's U.S. Senate race playing a major role in that. Democratic incumbent Sherrod Brown taking on the GOP challenger, the newcomer Bernie Moreno. And WLWT News 5 anchor Ashley Kirkland kicks off her coverage of the U.S. Senate race. She is in Columbus.
This is where incumbent three-term Senator Sherrod Brown will find out if Ohioans will vote him into office for a fourth term. Senator Sherrod Brown finished the home stretch of a brutal election cycle in his hometown of Cleveland.
When I win in November, when we win the 3 Supreme Court justices here, we win in November. When I raise my right hand again in January, you ain't seen nothing yet.
Today, the longtime Ohio U.S. Senator held a rally in downtown Cleveland with former President Bill Clinton stumping for him, touting Brown's record of working with Republicans and even opposing Democrats at times when it comes to what's best for Ohioans.
He has stood up for the dignity of work in the face of any forces that were against him. He has proved that he would work with Republicans when they agreed with him, and then he would have told Democrats, including me, when he disagreed with us. And that's why I don't want no dictatorship in the White House.
Right now, polls show Brown trailing Moreno, but it is still anybody's race at this point. Brown plans to vote in Cleveland tomorrow morning before heading here to Columbus for his watch party Tuesday night as we watch the election results roll in. Here in Columbus, Ashley Kirkland, WLWT News 5.
Well, the other side of this $500 million Senate battle is closing out the campaign just outside of Cleveland. Bernie Moreno running neck and neck with Sherrod Brown, and WLWT News 5 anchor Chris Jacobs has that part of the story from Cleveland. A look ahead at the big election day.
Well, who is expected to win this race depends greatly on which poll you look at, and even that leaves a lot of uncertainty as all of these polls are within the margin of error. Now today, Bernie Moreno making his final campaign stop before Election Day in Brecksville, about 30 minutes south of Cleveland. Tomorrow, his watch party will be in Westlake. Moreno made a stop in Batavia on Saturday and Wilmington on Sunday. Now, he criticized Sherrod Brown, saying he never shows up in places like Northwest or Southwest Ohio because he only cares about Cleveland and Columbus. He's also gone after Brown over transgender issues, but one of the hot-button topics in this campaign has been access to abortion. The Brown campaign making that one of the focal points of attack against Moreno. We caught up with Moreno at his event in Batavia this past weekend.
This campaign comes down to a very simple idea. Sherrod Brown is just too liberal for Ohio. He's given us generationally high inflation. He's given us generationally high open border. He's given us generationally high instability all over the world. And at the same time, while he's been in D.C. for 30 years, it was 20 years before that in state government, we've lost 200,000 manufacturing jobs. It's time to cancel the Sherrod Brown show, put an outsider, a business person in D.C. that can fix the state.
Now, this is also expected to be a record-setting election in terms of campaign spending. We're hearing reports of $450 million to $500 million being spent on campaign advertising. Either way, that would make this the most expensive Senate race in U.S. history. Reporting in Cleveland, Chris Jacobs, WLWT News 5.